So this is a video on how to make your own tarot box. It's a very simple process. I'll go through step by step exactly what you need to do and how you need to do it. All you need is a pair of scissors, some paper glue, and a bit of patience. If you want to make one of these boxes, drop me an email and I'll happily send you the file. I've made 2 copies, so we're just starting on the one so long, and you can begin by just cutting along all the lines. And take your time, there's no rush, just do it nice and neatly.
Almost done, yeah? This.
Okay, next we're going to be folding all the edges. You can do this any which way you like, I suppose. You can fold it by hand. The method I've chosen is that you bend the cardboard up against a flat edge. So I've used a ruler here and pull the cardboard towards you. So you place the ruler on the other side, the inside of the box basically, and you pull the cardboard towards you. Okay, our first attempt was a practice run. I'm going to make the second box now. It turns out you need more than just a pair of scissors. Some opposable thumbs come in really handy. So I'm going to tell you why I'm doing this. For me, if I'm using a deck of cards, I will not use the box. So I'll put the box on the shelf and I'll take the cards out and I'll put them in something else. And it's usually something I've made myself, or it's just a bag. So I mean, this deck I've used many times, but it looks brand new because I never touched the box. So the cards are in the little bag. Now, I also want to show you another example of a bag here. This is the bag that I keep my original RWS deck in that I've used. I've done thousands of readings for clients over the years, and I don't think this deck has ever been in its box because it's always used the whole time. This is also a bag that my friend Renee made for me. I'll show it to you now. She made it for the CS Tarot. It's got the CS on the side and then it's got Pamela Coleman Smith's signature on the other side. She hand crocheted it. It is stunning. It's beautiful. It's a lot of effort and time into it, and I really appreciate it. Please check out her channel. It's Intuitive Renee. So we have 3 different sizes for the CS Tarot. The large, the jumbo on the left, standard tarot size in the middle, and then the naked and cut on the right. I'm going to make a box today for the naked and cut. It's a little bit smaller than a tarot size, but you can also see I've got 3 different back options. The one I'm holding in my hand is the burnt orange. I've got the black back and the amber. So I've got basically three different colors for each size, which is 9 files. So let me know which one you want. Okay, before you jump in with a pair of scissors or a knife, I would just like to draw your attention to these faint lines over here. These are tabs that you're going to need. It's going to be important. So you're going to be gluing on them to hold the structure of the box together. You'll also be using those tabs to tuck the lid of the box. So don't be inclined to go and cut around the colored edge. There are white sections that come out. You must include those as part of the design. Okay, well, let's begin by cutting this box out. For our glue, I'm just going to use Pritt. It's paper glue, it's cheap, and it works perfectly. I'm going to begin by gluing now. I will glue the piece on the side, the long part, and the 2 bottom tabs, the 3 bottom tabs, but not the white piece at the top. So I'll put glue there. There, I think I'm going to glue the bottom piece first before I glue the side. Let's see how that goes. What I'd originally thought of doing is once I've put glue on, is holding the box with tape, but I don't want to mess the box up. So once I've glued, I'm just going to take a clothing peg or a clip and hold that piece in place. Okay, I can use those clips, or I can even use clothes pegs. They'll work perfectly to hold the glued part in place. But let's begin our gluing now. I just roll up some cardboard to make sure there's a tight fit when I use the clothes peg. Okay, we've glued the bottom. I've let that dry for a couple of minutes, and I'm going to glue the side. I just take a pair of scissors to push and make sure that the part on the inside is glued up against the outer piece. What I also do, I take the deck of cards, I wrap them in some plastic just to give it a bit of thickness, but also to protect the cards from any glue, and I push that inside the box, and that also gives it pressure from the inside of the box. Put some elastic bands on, keep it in place. What I also noticed now, and I slow down to show you, that the edges weren't folded perfectly, and that was my own fault. I didn't do it nice and carefully. So I just take my ruler now and I refold the front part that tucks into the box. Just a bit of readjustment and it's fine. There you go. I've discovered a problem. When I fold the cardboard, on that bend, on the fold, the cardboard actually breaks, if you can see it there. And I remember now, I mean, I had this one printed at a copy shop, but I remember when I printed this other box at home about a year ago, it did the same thing. So what I did to solve that problem, before I did all my bending, I put a clear film of plastic on. It's just the inexpensive one you get at a stationery shop. It comes in a roll. You peel off the back and you stick it on. It's like a big clear piece of vinyl. And that seemed to work perfectly. So I'm just going to see if that will stop the cracking. I'm going to take a piece of sellotape now, put it on this box and see if I get a better result. Okay, putting that on there. Giving it a good bend. It doesn't seem like, I don't know, it doesn't seem like it's going to come off now. I mean, it doesn't seem like it's going to break. I just used that scissors to give it a hard bend. And you can see it hasn't damaged or cracked the cardboard at all. I'm just going to try one more area to see if it's going to work. Let me get some sellotape again and put it on the tabs. You can see the one on the right is cracked, the one on the left hasn't been bent yet. Okay, give it a good bend, and you can see it's perfect. Okay, I found a roll in the cupboard, and what I'm going to do is practice on that first box we cut out. It's always good to practice in case you make mistakes. What I like to do is I cut a piece out, obviously much bigger than the box. Okay. Then what I do is I peel back just one edge. And I take the edge that I've peeled back and I stick that on the table or on the box, as you'll see now, and then I pull it back slowly. So let's give this one a try and see how it goes. What I also do in the beginning here, I stick it onto the whites, but I don't want the contact on the white because I'm going to be gluing there. So you'll see I stick and then I sort of peel it off and then do it again. So I don't actually want it on the white because that's where my glue is going to go. So peel back a bit and then I start again just near the beginning of the color. And that's exactly how I want it. Also just cut off the excess pieces, make it easier. As I'm pulling, and I'm actually pulling very slowly here, I'm rubbing with my thumb, not a ruler. I'm using my thumb so I can feel if there are any bubbles, and I make sure there are no bubbles. What I also do, I just cut off all the excess plastic. As this is just a practice box, I'm cutting off pieces that are important that you wouldn't obviously cut off, like all those tabs. Okay, so let's give it a bend and see if our plan has worked. Perfect, there's no breaks in the box. So try again on the back. That's as good as you're going to get it. What I'm going to do now, before putting that contact on, I'm just going to mark off the edges that need to remain. So these are the white edges that I'm going to put glue on. And obviously if I have that contact on it, I won't be able to glue that surface. Because I want to contact the whole sheet, I'm going to now take some masking tape and cover off those edges. Okay, let's put the tape on. I'm just testing a little piece to make sure it doesn't rip up the cardboard. I'm happy with that. What you can also do is you can put that masking tape against your t-shirt or something just to remove a bit of the stickiness first, so that when you pull it up it doesn't remove any of the printed part. So because this is the jumbo box, it's printed on a size A3 cardboard, so it's quite a large piece. So I'm actually trimming the cardboard down just to make it easier to work with, and I'm obviously making sure not to cut off any of those white tabs because we're going to use them a bit later. So I'm happy with that size. Let's get our contact film. I stretch it larger than what it needs to be to make sure I have extra. Again, what I do is I bend over one side. So I fold the paper over on one edge. This stuff can be a bit tricky to work with. I spotted a problem here. If you can see those wrinkles in the plastic. So I decided to reorientate that piece of contact, put the paper back, and then I fold the other end. See, I didn't like those wrinkles there. Perfect. And again, I'm pulling this plastic very, very slowly. Obviously just fast forwarding it now to make the video go quicker. But I'm rubbing it gently with my thumb, making sure there's no air bubbles or wrinkles whatsoever. Oh, perfect. I love it. I was so happy when I finished that. Now you'll also see it's not easy working with that huge plasticky piece, that sticky piece. So I also just trim the extra piece of plastic off. So all we're doing now is I'm just trimming off that extra piece of plastic to make it easier to work with. And again, you don't have to put this plastic on. I've just done it because the particular cardboard that I used happened to crack when I bent it. I love that finish. I cannot tell you how happy I am with it. It looks beautiful. Okay, let's get this cut out. What I need to do now is cut this piece of contact where it's on those white pieces. So it peels off that masking tape very easily. Let's get a knife, cut it off. What I do is I make sure that contact goes at least 1 or 2 millimeters past the color so that when I bend it, I don't see that fold in the card. I'm just removing the masking tape now. And you can see I made a mistake there, but I just correct it quickly, no problem. Okay, that's the piece I need, that's the size I need. Pulling off that masking tape. Now it's time to fold. Let's get this folded. I just push, instead of bending the whole thing, I just push the pieces that I need to. You'll see the ruler has a rounded edge and a flat edge. I use the flat edge of the ruler on the inside of the box. Those are my two most important folds. They'll be right at the front, obviously. So I'm going to do those two last. What I'm doing now, I'm making a small little cut on basically at each corner. So when I flip the cardboard over, I can see exactly where I need to fold. I keep going horizontal because the table is actually a bit curved. And now I just have to glue. So now we do our gluing. Again, I'm just using Pritz. It's a very cheap paper glue. I'm going to start by gluing the bottom tabs. It's the ones that I've numbered 2, 3, and 4. Oh yeah, what I do now, actually I remember now. I put the whole thing together at once. But I made an error. If you can see that tab number 1 is a bit long. I didn't cut it short enough because I had that masking tape over it, so I couldn't see my line perfectly. So I just get a pair of scissors, trim it down, and then it fits perfectly. Now because this has that plastic covering on it, I can use masking tape and it won't rip off any of the printing. Okay, I do the same story with the last deck. I wrap the cards in plastic, give them a bit more girth, so that it pushes against the inside of the box. It also protects the cards from any glue. And there we go. Oh, I'm seeing that the laminate is actually pulled off a bit. I don't know if you can see that. So let's fix that now. Okay, I could have left that little piece as it is. It's not that serious, but it's something that I'll notice and I want to try fix it. So if you can see very slightly, it's lifting. Can you see it there? Just on the edge, like in between where it says Terra Deck and the bottom of the box. So I've gone and fetched a clean, very sharp blade. And you can see how sharp it is. I drop it by mistake and it actually lands in the table flat. That's unbelievably sharp. So very carefully, see there, it landed straight up. So very carefully, I just cut along that line. I think what's happened is because of the bend, it's lifted. So I cut along the end. And then I want to try push it flat. So I get a tough object. I grab a big screwdriver. Okay, I've tried it, really didn't work. Got a big screwdriver and I'm pushing that laminate, that sticky part, against the box so that there's no lifting. We're all done. So these are my 3 different box deck sizes. This is obviously the naked and cut. It's a bit smaller than a tarot size. It's got the numbers and the borders removed. That was the first box we made with the orange back. Now I want to draw your attention to this. You see how it's not fitting in properly. So what I did, and I'll show you what I did on the jumbo box, I cut the ends. Can you see how I've cut it there? Small little cut. And that actually clips on, so that'll prevent it from flapping like it did on the smaller box. Perfect. Lastly, I just take the tape off and we're done. I have loved making this box and I'm even more happy with the way it looks. I've been asked a few times, why do I call it a deck for professional readers? Answer very simple. The card stock is very good quality, so you can use the cards for readings. And also, I don't include a little white book. So I'm assuming that a person who buys this deck already knows how to read the tarot. That's it. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Thanks very much.